So I've already established this before, but my favorite character to play inside of Marvel Rivals will and always is Spider-Man. I am aware that he is buns, and 9 times out of 10 he's not going to make a splash against the enemy team, but I just enjoy playing him. However, there will occasionally come a moment where I don't want to use Spider-Man, and instead I feel like not being a nuisance to my entire team. In these scenarios, I try and strike a balance between fun and actual general effectiveness by playing the Winter Soldier. I go in, I hook people, I dink them in the head with a revolver, and occasionally I'll gamble at the slot machine that is his ultimate. However, if it is a particularly miserable Saturday afternoon and I'm seeing the world in black and white, you already know that my character choice is going to be something particularly painful for everybody I go against. I want these people to feel half as much pain and misery that I felt when I realized my father wasn't coming back, and for that choice, the character I always end up defaulting to is Hawkeye. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. There is no character in this game more fundamentally overpowered than how Hawkeye is in current Marvel Rivals. And of course, I could go in great detail about all the different ways he can beat your ass, but instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a clip that I got a few weeks ago of me getting a 7-kill streak and then knocking a Luna Snow out of her ultimate. Roll it.
Can't dodge this one. He knows we're just what the doctor ordered. Packet slash.
No worries. I got your back.
Punch in the hole.
That's 3.
Yeah, I earned that one.
Wow, 4 in a row.
By the eye
Wow, that's amazing. 6 in a row. Way to go. Unbelievable.
Please give me a challenge.
I am ready to put on a show.
So if it wasn't already evident by that overly long introduction, today we are going to be talking about Hawkeye and his current place in the meta, except I'm not going to be using footage of me playing Hawkeye because it is the most boring shit you will ever see. I do not care if you are getting every single kill in that lobby with 40 out of 40 final hits. There is no such thing as interesting Hawkeye gameplay. In the current landscape of the internet where Temple Run and Subway Surfers dominates the attention span of ages 5 to 35, putting Hawkeye on screen is basically career suicide. I'm not doing it, because to be honest, I don't even really enjoy playing Hawkeye. I only ever do it when I'm miserable. I've already established this. This is not a joke, this is not a bit, this is not me trying to be funny. The biggest nerf to playing Hawkeye is just how comedically unfun he is to use. I get it though, you know, some days we mean business. We want to log in, get a 30 kill streak, go pick up Mickey D's, and then love the fuck out of our spouses. But if you want anything else from life that's not a 9 to 5, Hawkeye is not going to provide it. So, of course, let's talk about it. For those who aren't aware, Hawkeye in his current state right now is the strongest character in Marvel Rivals. In fact, initially, this video was going to be similar to my one about how everybody counters Spider-Man, where I wanted to test every single character and realize what they could theoretically do to a good aiming Hawkeye. And I very quickly realized that there is no point in doing that. Hawkeye quite literally beats everybody on the roster. It does not matter who they are. You could be a Siberian parent with a sandal going after your kid on report card day because they didn't make straight A's, and guess what? You're only half as powerful as the Hawkeye is. There is something that is cosmically comical about the developers of Marvel Rivals unironically thinking it was a good idea to give a character a 330 damage auto attack with absolutely no limit on ammunition. Why the fuck does the wizard have to reload his magic, but the Hawkeye seemingly has a bottomless bow and arrow? Never mind the fact that Jeff has to eat fish to keep the healing beam going, and Spider-Man has to let his dick refill so he can keep shooting webs down the downtown Manhattan Square. I don't understand why this character can have an effective DPS of about 330 a second, yet the Punisher having a clip on his assault rifle is suddenly a balancing mechanic. So for the uninitiated people, or those who simply picked up the character and had no understanding of how he worked besides point and click on heads, Hawkeye has a very unique mechanic with his bow and arrow. Namely, once once he's done drawing back the crossbow, he will then get this meter that fills up over the course of about 0.5 seconds, and after it hits 100, you will be doing the maximum amount of damage with that arrow. When you connect a fully drawn back, fully charged arrow, it will do 330 damage by default. If you have a Black Widow on the team, you'll be doing around 380. I don't know who in their right mind thought a damage buff on Hawkeye from the team up would be a good idea, because, you know, once you reach that level of damage, it's kind of fucking redundant for everything except tanks, but sure, why not, right? And just so we're very clear, the only character on the roster who's not a tank with an HP pull higher than 275 is Black Panther. But even if you are at 330 HP, you're still going to go down in one shot from an arrow that you didn't see before being put on the live leak Syrian sniper compilation. That's what it's like going up against a Hawkeye. And what's funny to me about this character more than anything else is that he actually has a secondary fire option. Not that you would know that, because splash damage dealing like, what is it, 30 per arrow and a trajectory of 3 is not worth doing. There is literally no reason to go with a substantially weaker burst spread, even in a close range scenario. Like, okay, let's think about this for a second, right? You could argue that in a team fight, if everybody's grouped up, you can shoot this in there, but I don't know why you would want to, because if you can just get one good headshot, you turn the team fight from a 6v6 to a 5v6. Then, if they're close up, and the amount of time it would take you to draw the arrow twice to get the explosive radius, you can potentially kill them with that, or you can just draw it once and then kill them with a headshot. There is literally no agency with Hawkeye. You use the one button, and you may be wondering, well, what are the other two firing modes, right? Well, he has a projectile that's comically slow to come out, but then when it does, it shoots one beam and then it explodes after, and then he has a melee and a double jump. The melee gets melee characters off of his ass, which then allows him to line up a shot which can kill somebody in one hit, and then the double jump allows him to backpedal like the bitch he is. And there you go, that's Hawkeye. That's all he does. He also has an ultimate which makes it to where you can shoot people in places that they had been before, not where they already are. And I know some people say that this ultimate is nowhere near as strong as his actual fire. No, it can actually be pretty good if you know what you're doing with it. Seriously, having a clear shot on a sniper, even if you can't go for headshots, is going to be comically busted. You can kill people in 2 hits with it. But that is besides the point. In his current state, right now, Hawkeye is effectively the Huntsman from Team Fortress 2, but twice as powerful with the ability to kill almost everybody in the game. And when I say almost everybody, I do mean almost everybody. You could be Luna Snow with her ultimate up, or Cloak and Dagger with her ultimate up, and that overheal ain't gonna mean a damn thing when the Hawkeye lands a headshot on you, because not only are you going to die, but your entire field's gonna disappear as well. And yet, in spite of this, in spite of just how comedically overpowered Hawkeye is in every way, shape, and form, I'm kind of fucking down for it. Look, here's the thing, right? Currently, in Marvel Rivals, everything's overpowered, for the most part. Unless your name is Spider-Man, Black Panther, or, you know, insert character you may be thinking about here, you're not really going to make as big of an impact compared to, oh, I don't know, Winter Soldier. There are a lot of strong characters in this game who do a lot of really fucking broken stuff. So, having one character who's comedically overpowered to me is perfectly fine. I've talked about this before and I'll talk about it again. I think healing is woefully overtuned, especially if your name is Cloak and Dagger. So I'm fine with there being a character in the game who can one-shot somebody. It's definitely better than having Black Widow be able to do that, seeing as, unlike Black Widow, Hawkeye has to lean his shots and has to wait a second before taking it, but I can also recognize that maybe having one-shots in general would be a little bit too overpowered. But it really is a balancing act, right? Because if Hawkeye suddenly can't one-shot, nobody's gonna want to use him over Black Widow because she's in the exact same boat that he is. Except, unlike Hawkeye, Black Widow, again, does not have to lean her shots, which would just make her the better one to play. So as long as healers are allowed to have these ultimates that can't be countered in any other way, I'd say it's completely fine. If they want to have the ability to CC us out of our ultimates or completely negate it with basic healing, then we should have the ability to shut them down with an auto attack. Because all I'm saying is, there are twice as many DPS in the game, and only one of them can do it. And yeah, I know Punisher can, but you need a Rocket Raccoon, and you need to have the infinite little bullet thing, and you need to have really goated headshot aim, and you gotta fucking hope, that's right, hope, that the enemy tank is lobotomized and doesn't do their job to block the damage going in on their tank. And granted, if they're playing Hulk, they're probably already halfway there, but still, again, I like that level of counterplay. Also, I'ma just say it, I've never encountered a Hawkeye Hawkeye who is actually good at their job. I've seen, like, you know, above average at best. For the most part, they suck ass. And even if you are good with them, they're just gonna ban the character immediately inside of competitive, so why does it matter? So I say give him Hawkeye, let him stay the way he is. We gotta make sure the people who are lobotomized and only care about high damage have something to play. Cause I said it at the start of this video, and I'ma say it again, there is nothing more boring than playing a Hawkeye. Does not matter if you're getting a high kill count, he's just not fun to play. I'm sorry, it had to be said, I play video games for challenge, not to steamroll everybody I encounter. It's just the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been ZenkoSolo, and until I feel like talking about video games again, I will see you all around. Farewell.